Welcome to Navigating Hope, your compass to health empowerment. I'm Dr. Jamie Hope, steering you through healthcare, overcoming overwhelm, personal goals, and emergencies. We'll navigate the healthcare maze with actionable insights and real-world advice, unlocking the secrets to a healthier, more vibrant life. Join us to take control of your well-being and make informed decisions for your health and your future. Stay with us as we unravel the mysteries of medicine, wellness, and life's unforeseen challenges, helping you bypass the ER with a dose of knowledge. Stay tuned till the end of the episode with a recap of your actionable insights and a free gift. Let's chart a course to your well-being together. Brenda Swanson is a former actress turned wellness advocate with a deep passion for yoga and holistic health. After her career in acting, she dedicated herself to promoting wellness and mindfulness, leveraging her platform to inspire and educate others on the importance of physical and mental well-being. You'll really feel that vibe when we start connecting and asking these questions. Brenda is known for her holistic approach to health, incorporating yoga, nutrition, and mindfulness practices into her daily life and workshops. She definitely walks the walk. Through her work, she aims to empower individuals to lead healthier and more vibrant lives. So there are so many things. I have followed you online. You do such amazing things. You are beautiful inside and out. And your message that everyone can have good health, and it doesn't have to be this scary, intimidating, overwhelming process. It can actually get you out of overwhelm.
Right.
So, I love this. So, Brenda, you began your journey as an aspiring Olympic gymnast
Yes.
before moving into modeling and acting. So, can you share how these early experiences shaped your views on health and fitness?
Well, as a gymnast, first of all, you're in some of the best shape that you'll ever be in because you're constantly 6 hours a day doing gymnastics. Nobody else in the world has to do this out here. It's not the
right.
I was a kid and I just always have been an athlete. So I always kept myself in shape, basically because I wanted to feel better. And I know through movement, since I moved so much as a child, even through all the modeling and everything, I always did something, whether it was walk everywhere that I had to go on an appointment to or whatever it was. And I got into modeling because an agency found me and brought me to a Wilhelmina competition in New York. And I think I was 16, turning 17, and they brought me to the competition and I won in several categories. So we decided that I was getting too tall to be a gymnast, and I was 5'6" then and was still growing. And when I gymnastics and went away, the first place I went to was Japan. I went to New York, and then an agency from Japan came and took me to Japan. And the first thing I did was grow like 3.5 inches in a year.
Oh my.
Craziest thing. And so my parents and my coaches were all saying, you really ought to try this modeling thing. So I went to New York and I won the competition and I did the modeling thing. And then I lived in Milano for 5 years and I started the Giorgio Armani line called Emporio, the more junior line for like young, fit girls when I was 18 then. It's been a long time since then. So I started that with him and then lived here for about 5 years on and off. So Italiano sono mia seconda lingua. That is my second language. And I happen to come back here all the time. And I've just started up doing the modeling again, both here in Milano and in Miami and New York. So I'm excited about that. And just after all these years, I'm 61, and all of a sudden there's so much work for models that are my age, because not everybody wants to look at 18-year-olds putting on skin cream on their face and saying, oh, the difference between this side and that side, and they're 20.
Right. What is the difference?
Like, it doesn't make any sense. So now they actually have women of a certain age, or like my age, or even older. There's a model that's 80 with the perfect gray white hair, and she's absolutely gorgeous.
That's wonderful.
We're working, so we're blessed. And go ahead, ask me another question.
So what I love about this whole journey is you've been focused on your health the entire time.
Oh, totally.
It's
Totally,
not,
because when
it's
you
not
find out
just about looking a certain way, right?
Yeah, you must look a certain way. Your body
Of
must be
course.
in shape. And let's face it, not all models look like I do. A lot of models are just really skinny, long, and lanky. And I'm more fit and muscular because that's how I always was. And I never wanted to lose that. So, attention, everybody out there.
Yes.
If you're in your 40s and you have not started working out on some kind of program with weights, and I don't care if you do all the jazzercise or aerobics in the world, it's not going to build the muscle in your arms, your legs, and keep your muscles firm and also build your bones. And as we age, especially women, our bones tend to get very weak and brittle, and then hence osteoporosis. So my mom had multiple myeloma bone cancer, and I've been doing yoga for 40 years. And when she got this bone cancer, I had just started a core power yoga. Any core power yoga fans out there? I just started training there and got into a really hot room with really loud music and weights. So it's called Sculpt Yoga. And so my business is Body by Brenda. So it's about your body, it's about your
Mm,
nutrition, what you eat, and it's about your mental health.
mhm.
Because mental health is really so important. And let's think about it. I cut my finger this morning, just that one little finger. When we get more grown up, as I like to say, as opposed to aging,
Oh, that's a
the
lovely way to
more
put
up,
it.
yeah, the more you grow up, the more things don't heal, especially on your extremities. So even that little cut on my hand, like a paper cut, it's hurt so much. And we don't want to even get that. So what we want to do is prevent everything that we can, whether it's working out with weights, whether it's walking. Walking is really good for you for the aerobic part of it. You don't have to jump up and down and be a maniac to get yourself in shape. It's actually detrimental to your body after you get to be a certain age. But literally, when you're 35 or no later than 40, you better start working some weight program and you better start working some flexibility program. Hence the reason I do weights and flexibility with the yoga. Also, I found out through trial and error, and a lot of people don't understand this, through trial and error in my life, my tummy was always having problems, and I wasn't sure if it was IBS or I
Mm,
wasn't sure what was happening. And for years it was like this. And so I stopped. I took different things out of my diet. Like I took bread out of my diet. I took milk and dairy has been out of my diet forever. I didn't eat meat for 22 years, but I do believe in eating meat again. I guess my body craved it. So I do have that every once in a while. And
mhm.
like I said, every once in a while. And there's so many great fish and so many other great proteins that you can eat that it's works out great. But you have to eat the protein and you have to eat your veggies. And even if it's a piece of fish and a piece of chicken or a piece of beef and some spinach, and throw in some potatoes if you want to, because you've got the protein and you've got the potatoes, which turn sweet. So they're going to meld together as opposed to spiking your blood sugar. Right, Doc?
Yes, yes, that's the key. That blood sugar control.
So
I love this. The protein, the veggies. You're talking my language here.
yeah, and this is how we get to be 61 and look the way I do, because you start finding out, listen, if anybody's trying to lose weight out there, the first thing you need to do is figure out what your food allergies are, and they're mostly going to be bread, pasta, anything with gluten in it. Although here in Italy, I can eat everything and I never have a problem. I go back to America for the first week I'm home, I blow up. Like I come here and lose 5 pounds. I go home and I go back to the same fluffy pounds. Although I'm not fluffy, but it's my feeling inside, like
Of course.
just too much preservatives in our food. There's just too much stuff. So if you can buy organic, go to the farmer's market, buy organic, and eat as much of that good food as you can. And I think if you stop moving, just keep moving is one of my mantras, just keep moving, because when you stop, you rust. And
Yes.
there's some days that I wake up in the morning and if I've eaten some food that is inflammatory to me, if I eat too much tomato sauce or something, or I have too much, it's more like tomatoes because I've gotten rid of everything else that bothers me. It's mostly tomatoes. I will wake up the next day and go to teach a class or take a class or practice somewhere, and I will feel like the Tin Man,
Mm.
like I need to be boiled
I
because
think
my
a lot of
body,
people can relate to that. You wake up and you're so stiff. You're like,
and
I
I'm
need
so stiff, and I
the
even
oil
get to
can.
go work out and I'm really feeling stiff. So you got to move and you got to watch what you eat, because the inflammatory stuff comes from things that you eat or things that you're allergic to and you don't know. And that could also be air pollution, mold, and all kinds of other things that make us sick. But the key is to try to stay as healthy as you can, eating the best foods that you can, moving your body, and mentally visualizing happiness and mentally visualizing in your life the life you want to see, because this gives us excitement. And go for what you don't really want to go for because you want to stay safe. Just get out of your box and go for it, because it's going to give you so much liberty and make you feel so much better about doing that than staying in your kind of hibernated hole, which I have that same problem. We all do that.
Yeah.
Everybody is not so crazy about change.
Yeah. We want to stay safe, quiet, comfortable, and not
Mhm.
moving, but then
Mhm.
we'll be stuck there, right?
And we're stuck there. And then we don't do what we really want to do in life. And then we go, wow, why didn't I do that? Which I have had a couple of those in my life. You live and you learn. If you don't know, you don't know.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, a lot of people think health is just about one facet in particular, just cardio, just yoga, just nutrition, just mental health, as if these things are separate, as if they're distinct entities that don't all affect us. But you take a holistic approach. How did you get into that mindset?
well, they always say it's mind, body, and oh wait, what is that saying? I say beauty, body, and balance,
Oh,
because I think
nice.
you're taking care of your skin and beauty, body is taking care of your body, and then balance is balancing them all out in your brain. Um,
Mhm.
I got into the whole holistic approach because I was suffering from depression, and I was trying to figure out not only with the foods that I was eating that were bothering me with that, what else could it be? And tried to take the whole holistic, like Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurvedic style is so good for you. And also, if you eat what's in season, if you're eating
Mm.
what's in season is really the best thing to do. And I eat avocados from Mexico. I eat avocados that are from here that are organic. I find everything I can organic most all the time. But sometimes those things do come from other countries. And I don't really so much like to eat them when they're not in season. However, I do because I like them in my shakes. If you're suffering from a weight problem and you're trying to gain weight, make sure that you drink like a protein shake in between your meals. If you're having
Mhm.
an issue with trying to keep your weight on, and if you're trying to take your weight off, make sure you have a protein shake instead of your meals, and that you have small snacks with apples and almond butter or something on it. Or rice cakes taste like sand, so I don't suggest
That's just dreadful. I
of
feel
any
like a
kind.
punishment,
And they're not
honestly.
even good for you. They're not
They're
even good for
not.
you. This is not even that great for us anymore. So I don't get that whole eat,
Yeah.
eating like a box.
I feel like that was just a scam. The whole thing. We're chomping on these thinking, oh, I'm getting better. And you're like, why am I eating this
Getting
horrible
thinner,
styrofoam?
and I don't taste anything.
Oh, they're awful. So you
So I
mentioned,
started it. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
You go ahead.
All right. So you mentioned depression, and I know many people have struggled with that. I've certainly had some bouts myself. And when you're feeling that way, the last thing you want to do is get up and move. However, you and I know, as many and many of us know, that's the best thing that you can do.
It's the
Certainly,
only thing
other
that you
treatments,
do.
therapy, medications, whatever's recommended by your doctor. But what can we do when we're not feeling empowered to get back into that empowered state?
Take a walk,
Yes.
the beach, take a walk in the mountains, take a walk wherever you live. And even better yet, if you can get yourself to a class of some sort, and I don't mean going to the gym and lifting a bunch of weights, and getting yourself into some classes of some sort where you do something one day, you do something the next, you do something the next. Stretching is really important, but you have to remember that your body and your mind and your spirit are all one. We
Yes.
really have to keep that, and we really have to know that's where I come with the beauty, the body, the balance. Because it's all about that. They've been talking about that is melding and into one in yoga and all kinds of things in the world forever. So that's really key.
So you mentioned a class, and I know that's something that you do as a profession. What I love about classes is that they keep you accountable because you're
Mhm.
following along. They give you guidance, variety, and connection. I always say
Can
I'm going to do it at home by myself, but then I can be distracted by the laundry and the dog and the kids and taking care of an ill family member and those things. So you were doing classes and live and in person. And then this life event that happened that maybe people have heard of called the global pandemic.
right?
And so you pivoted because during that time, and especially that time in this post pandemic era, people need the classes more than ever. So, how did that look for you?
I actually started a free in the month of at pandemic time, in the month of April when they closed everything down. I
Mhm.
actually started an online class for get off your butt, get off
Yes.
your butt, get off the couch. Don't sit there watching the news the whole time and
Oh,
mess up
Lord.
your body and everything else. I started a free class. It was 30 days and 30 minutes. And I did it on Facebook for the world to see. And I did it on Instagram for the world to see. So I could have 30 minutes with as many people that wanted to get on and help them stay off the couch and get better. Because when you are in that mood and you do get depressed, the only thing that you can do really to get you out of it, the medication is the medication. And some people, we really need that for, we need it. Our
Right,
constitution, we just need it.
right,
So
absolutely.
the best medication is really to go and work out. So the mornings that you're feeling those blues and your body's feeling sore, go to a stretch class. Take a walk around your block, go to a stretch class and just work on stretching your body out because that's just important as a building the muscle. We don't want to walk around building muscles and be like,
So,
there's
yes.
they're so full everywhere. We want to be able to be loose and free and elongated muscles. That's what I would say to anybody that's saying that they don't want to get up and do something because they're feeling depressed. It's that it's hard, but once you get into the habit of it, it's challenging. I shouldn't say hard. It's really challenging. But once you get in the habit of it, you're going to automatically go to that. And it's just what happens. And just in time, you start noticing things that you're eating, noticing things that aren't making you feel so good. Stop eating those things for a little while and give yourself a minute. If you can afford it, you can go to a nutritionist or just go to a doctor that isn't as all about for your for allergies and what people are allergic to. Go to one of them and have them test you for the things that you might be allergic to and just go off of them for 30 days and see how you feel. You'll have less aches and pains, you'll be more clear in the mind, you won't have as much depression, and you'll want to get up and go do something. It's not, you're not paralyzed to the couch like you can be when you become depressed. You can become completely paralyzed and you don't want to do anything. And that's understandable. Maybe you do that for a couple of days. I always say if you're having a bad day, take a nap. If you're having a really bad day and nothing seems to be going your way, take a deep breath, relax, meditate for a few minutes, and have a little nap. And you'll wake up a completely different person.
Yeah.
So
Giving yourself that grace and that permission,
yeah, and
but
giving yourself
also,
grief because in our heads, we're all giving ourselves such grief all the time. It's like we need
yes.
to like get out of our heads. This thing between our ears can make us cuckoo, and we just want to get out of that. So, yeah, I think the holistic approach is the best. And we don't want to be sick in our 60s. We don't want to be dying in our 70s when it was unnecessary just because we ate wrong and we're doing the American whatever's easy and quick. And we're doing that to our kids a lot. And kids aren't getting diabetes because they're eating a bunch of sugar. They're getting it from the lunch meats that are going on the sandwiches that their parents are giving them because
Mhm.
they're so full of sugar and they're so processed that we got to stop that immediately too.
Yeah. Oh, the processed food that could be a whole long series in and of
Episode. Yeah,
itself. It's hard. And so what I like what you're saying is two big things here. We're exercising for our current body, of course, because we want to look great, but we're also exercising for our future self to prevent
that's the
that
big
that
thing.
fall, that ER visit, that being decrepit. Tell me about that.
Tell you about.
How our exercise now benefits our future
Well,
self and
that's what I was
healthy
saying
aging.
earlier. If you're
Yeah.
not exercising right now, if you're not exercising when you're 30 or 40, you are going to end up in the ER room. You are going to have a problem. You are going to end up diabetic. And there's no reason for it. If you just start taking care of yourself now, and every day you get up and maybe you look in the mirror and you say, I don't want to go do that. Well, go do it anyway. You have to make yourself do things because you will not be well in your 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I see people that I went to high school with that are not even 61 yet that have had triple bypasses. And these are
Oh
people
my.
in high school that you're going, oh my God, how can that possibly be? What
Hmm.
are you eating and what are you doing to yourself that can make you be in triple bypass land? Definitely try to start eating as organic as you can, start moving your body because right now is the time to do it. You won't be well and you'll end up in your ER room with something wrong with you and That's not the way you want to go. Don't you want to be having like a glass of wine or a martini with your best friend at 80 years old and cheering that you're still here and
Yeah, walking around independent.
hang out with your grandkids because you can, when you're not like sitting in a chair with wheezing and you've done something for yourself while you were younger that actually is what makes you better in when you're older. That's a perfect example of how I am and what I do. And most of the people around me are pretty much like that. You surround yourself with people that do the exercising, get your girlfriend. It's all about community. As you said earlier, when you go to
Yes.
the gym, you have other classmates that you see every day. You're in you're in your little unit in in your community, and you share with people and you give love and you get love back, and you watch other people in the room and you get inspiration, or you give inspiration, and always give a little more than what you got somehow. That's how I feel as a teacher, to give more than what I'm getting, because I'm getting to the satisfaction of watching all you people grow and get in great shape. And I'll tell you, I had quite a few people that had the best bodies during COVID that they've ever had. And then
Nice.
people that came on every once in a while, and it's all fine. But my most important thing was to get off the couch, don't eat the junk food, don't watch the news, because it's all going to put you in the ER room by the time that you're 70, maybe earlier, and definitely
Yes.
in your 80s, and definitely in your 80s. And another reason why I really wanted to start the sculpt yoga, my mother had multiple myeloma,
Mhm.
bone cancer. And when she had that, I started a new kind of yoga, which was this sculpting yoga. And it was because it used weights and flexibility, and that's what we really need. And I didn't want to have or get bone cancer in any way, and I don't want osteoporosis. So that's what I mean when you start at 40 or 35, because you're already, after what age is it exactly? 35, like when you start declining, or would you say like more 25? It's more like 35, right? I'm not sure.
There are the metabolic changes, the bone
Right.
changes, and if we don't take action, we go on the downhill trajectory instead of, you can actually go in the other direction.
Well,
Yes.
yes, and that's what
Yes.
I've completely, I feel like I've gone soared better or higher, um,
Yes.
because of taking care of myself. Also, I think that a lot of people, depending on their size, a lot of people are shy and they don't want to go work out because they're thinking, but there's so many people of every different size. And one of the things I like about yoga so much is it doesn't matter where you're at, it's where you're at. You don't have to turn yourself into a octopus and your hands and
Yeah.
your head. It's not all about that. It's really more about centering yourself, being in a community, and taking care of one another.
Yeah. And with any of those things, getting off the couch, getting started, people often wait to feel motivated to then start.
Or
But we
wait, they're
know
sick.
it's
And
the
then
opposite. You do the thing and then you get the reward of the motivation. Have you seen that in your classes when you're teaching?
yeah, yes. And also the doctors and insurance companies today, they want you to get sick. They're waiting for you to get sick. They want you to take medication and get better from them, as opposed to you taking care of yourself now and being able to avoid all that medication and being able to avoid going to the doctor. And when you do have to go, you go and you find out you have these diseases. Because, and please make sure that you guys go to the doctor, have a physical once a year,
Mhm.
whoever you are, have a physical once a year, get your blood work done, find out what's going on with everything. And again, as we grow up more, get more
Yes.
grown up, again, the whole thing about the working out and the taking care of your mind and your nutrition is that will help you stay younger inside. It's
Yes.
not going to, you need to be young inside for the outside to glow and for the outside to shine. And one of the best ways to do that is by moving your body.
Yes. Yeah. A face cream is lovely, but it's not a substitute for that internal health.
Right. And stay out of the sun, people. Stay out
Oh,
of the
I wish
sun.
you had told me that when I was a kid.
Me too. When we were putting the baby oil all over us and
Oh
tan,
Lord, right?
forget
Yes.
that.
So I know I've practically like hog tied my children to coat them in. I still want them to get the vitamin D, but trying to prevent the skin cancer and damage. It's
Yeah.
not doing the baby oil and the
No,
misspent deeds of
wear a
some of our
hat.
youth.
Wear a hat. And ladies, if you want to look young, Put sunscreen on the back of your hands for when you're driving the car. Make sure you always have it over the décolleté. And if your arm's out the window because you live in Florida and you want the sun on you, or you want to just have the window open because sometimes it's really nice to, it's not too hot, make sure you put it all over your arm, and definitely put it on your left side of your face for when you're driving, because that's the side that's going to hit you all the time. Or if you're in the car with your husband, of course, and you're maybe getting the right side. So
Yeah.
just do your whole head.
Yes. And well, so you have taught celebrities, very, very well-to-do famous. I don't know if you can do some name dropping and some tips that you've given them. Do they struggle with the same problems that us mere mortals have? Did they ever get
All of
depressed?
us
Did they ever get overwhelmed?
All of us do, and especially them, because they're looked at and scrutinized
Oh,
underneath the microscope, and
mhm.
so they're even harder on themselves than most people, because they have an image to keep up. And yes, I've taught a few celebrities. I've taught Sharon Stone. I've taught Donna Aykroyd and Donna and Danny Aykroyd. Um, let's see, who else have I taught? God, there's so many from so many years. Mitzi Martin, who's a model. She asked me that question and I can't even think of
No,
who.
that's okay. But it's really cool that you have connected to these people. I know you are an international star. People reach out to you from everywhere. And that is so cool because we see somebody in your position, not just a thought leader, but a results leader. I like that. I like that term better because we're looking for results. We're looking for a healthier life. And even people at your level still have real problems. So you
Oh,
mentioned that your
totally.
mom had multiple myeloma. We talked about your father who had a heart transplant. So while you're trying to you have this amazing career, you're helping all these famous people, you are also serving a role as a caregiver. How did that, and you mentioned self-care. So how did that look for you? And what can we do to survive all that, to that caregiver role?
That caregiver role is it's really tough. And I went through it with both of my parents, my dad for about 13 years and on and off, and my mom for the last 7.
Wow.
She passed in 2020. I moved from California to Florida to look after both of them. And then my mom wasn't getting well. So I stayed in Florida and took care of her. But you have to, especially when you're caretaking, you guys, you have to make sure that you take care of yourself, because otherwise you will not be healthy yourself, and you will find yourself more depressed than ever, because
Oh,
it's
yes.
hard to take care of your parent that is suffering, that is not ready to go. And so after I would be with my dad for part of the day, I would make sure that I did a yoga class somewhere in between before I went to see my mom, where she was in the hospital. I kept myself busy in the way that could help me stay healthy,
Yes.
mentally, emotionally, and physically.
And I feel like a lot of people who serve in that role as caregivers need permission, that reminder that self-care isn't selfish. How did doing those things make you a better caregiver?
I was really lucky with my mom, because my mom was always, and I had 3 caretakers with her different days of the week. And she was really great because she knew how important it was to me. And so she would always say, "Did you get your yoga in today? Have you done some
Ah,
yoga? Have you?" So she really wanted that. My dad, on the other hand, was a little bit more needy. Like, he
mhm.
couldn't understand why I was going to yoga or to go do anything to even leave his side. So he was a little bit more challenging, because I felt bad every time I went to yoga, but I had to keep telling him, "I have to take care of myself or I can't take care of you." And
Yes.
that's the main key here. And I'm here to look after you. And I've moved all the way from California. So it's obviously not obvious I want to be with you, but I just can't not do something for myself besides go to the grocery store and get you food and get some air, you know?
Yes. If we
So,
could just emphasize that so many times to caregivers, just that self-care isn't selfish. And good for you, even though you came across an obstacle where you were getting some pushback from your dad, you did it anyway,
anyway,
and it made you a better caregiver.
yeah. Yeah. It made me a better caregiver because I had that time to myself. I had that time to revamp myself, because it's very tiring. It's very, very tiring. And it's tiring on your heart to see your
Mm,
parent in that way as well. So
absolutely.
besides the work and the stuff that you help with, it's even with caretakers, it's still emotionally really tough.
It really is. So let's go through. So our listeners will be in a variety of different places in terms of caregiving, in terms of their health journey. And we want this to be an actionable and non-intimidating thing. Not all of us are going to become an international model superstar, but you're also very relatable and very helpful. So for our friends and listeners who are at the beginning of a health journey, it seems so intimidating to get to the before and after. What are a few things they can do to get started that they can act on?
Immediately, they can get in a chair.
Mm.
They can start doing some chair yoga or some chair exercises. And I literally mean sitting in a chair and standing up and sitting down,
Mm.
standing up and sitting down. Think of it as a squat, but with a chair underneath you. If you can spread your legs hip width distance apart, and let's see if I can do this, hip width distance apart, and you get up and you get down and then lean back in your chair, get up and lift up on your toes when you do this, because it engages your calves, it engages your shins. And then when you lift up on your toes, you lift up on your kneecaps when you stand up, and it engages your quads and your hamstrings. Then you can get 2-pound weights, depending on your age and how much weight you can handle and how much muscle you have. You want to use weights that are more heavy. You don't want to use weights that are 2 pounds and 1 pound for a long time, because they will not build a muscle. I don't know if you can even see it.
Oh, no. For those of you who are listening, you need to go on YouTube and see these gorgeous, long, lean muscles that she has built. I mean, her future self is going to be amazing. You are never going to end up in my ER with a hip fracture. I love this. Go to the YouTube for people who are listening.
What's that?
I was saying, go to the YouTube for people who are listening.
Yeah. Go to YouTube, Brenda Swanson, and you will see all kinds of things, and they're free. And there's workouts on there for free. And there's also free workouts on Facebook if you want to look those up on Beauty Body Balance. It's a page called Beauty Body and Balance.
Because this doesn't sound intimidating, but tell us why. So we want to start with 2-pound weights, and some people want to just keep doing that, or they're afraid to bulk up as if that's a huge issue.
Using 2-pound weights, all you're going to create is fluff. If you use a 5-pound weight, literally, if you use a 5-pound weight, you're going to be using those muscles. So even in this chair, then you start to do this, and then you start to get up and lift a leg and lift another one, because the things that go first in our bodies, I noticed this from both of my parents and other people. I need a taller toilet seat, because they can't sit down so well. Their thighs and legs get thin and they lose their muscle. And that was the first 2 things both of my parents needed when there was their legs. So I make sure, just by the getting up and down like that, I make sure that I go all the way down to the floor and squat, and then come up about 10 to 15 times during a class.
Yes.
Because that's really, really important, to be able to squat down and be able to get up off the floor and all that other good stuff. But another great exercise is just sitting in your chair at home if you don't want to go to the gym. Is just do this kind of exercise, even when you're getting up and down and using those 5-pound weights.
So you're adding that arm lift in there with that standing up.
Yeah. And you do your bicep curls, you do this way, and you do them with your hands straight up and down. And that's just simple ways for you to be at home. And if you're at your desk all day and you're eating like stuff that comes in and off the thing, and cookies come to you, and somebody sends you,
oh yeah,
somebody sends you this, and just at your office, get up and down, do that just to get yourself comfortable in your chair. Take your hands on either side of your chair, and then bring your left hand over toward your right. Take your right hand on the back of the chair and breathe in and twist. And exhale your air, and twist as much as you can. And you're twisting from the tummy, right in the center of your tummy, and the top part of your ribs. And then inhale and come back to center and do the same thing. Grab the right arm on the left side.
I hope everybody who's listening, you need to be following along, assuming you're not driving, of course.
If you're driving.
Yes, move and twist with us. This is excellent. These are things you can do. It doesn't have to be an elaborate gym or an expensive program. What you're telling people is there are things they can do today, right now.
Right now. And squats are really good for you. And if you go up to a wall and put your hands on the wall and just make yourself in an L position and keep your back as flat as possible, pressing really hard into the wall, lifting really hard up on your kneecaps, just that, and then let go, and then lift again and let go. That's challenging your muscle. That's building muscle. And it's also lengthening your back and your hamstrings, because a lot of people can't bend over and touch their toes. That's fine. Get against the wall. What you're doing by going against the wall or bending over halfway, whatever it is you're doing is what your body does for you. That's okay. When you can take yourself to the floor, that's great. If you can twist yourself into a pretzel, great, but not everyone do that. And nobody
Right.
cares. That's just it. It's not a competition with that, with yoga. Nobody cares. If you like to spin once a week, don't do more than that. Don't spend a whole lot of time. If you can actually to get a weight in your home or whatever, get some weights and do reps of something, not just 15 times and quickly, but use your resistance. And when you do those reps, like I'm shaking now just to go and really you resist it, right? I don't have any
Nice.
hand at all, but just to do those kind of exercises. I want to tell you something, and it just went out my head, just went out my head. Even if you do those kind of exercises,
Yeah. Kind of
and you
getting that
wait
strength.
by your side and you do like little lunges. I had it somewhere I was going, but I went up in my brain. And you do little lunges holding the weights by your side, just little lunges down and up over the head for the triceps. I don't know if you can see it, but you go over the head for the triceps. And you can still do the squats, but just do them in your house.
Yes.
Get your
Doable, actionable,
Mhm.
achievable. And I love that you've mentioned a few times as a yoga instructor. I have always found yoga instructors intimidating when I was beginning my journey. Some people can just naturally bend into a pretzel, do the splits on command. Even though I do it regularly, I have to work at it, even to just be able to touch my toes, because that's my genetics. That's how my baseline is. And so I have to work to get it. So there are people like me who aren't as naturally flexible, or people who maybe aren't as fit as they used to be, who get intimidated about starting. And
Right.
and you're saying, get started.
Just get started, even if it's at your home, just get started. But you get a little bit more, like what I did at COVID was great because we couldn't leave our houses. So
Yes.
everybody came online.
Mhm.
And then a lot of people went back to the studios immediately because they wanted the community and they
Mm.
wanted to see other people in class, and it gave them more energy and it made them feel like they were working out. At home,
Yes.
but get a little lazy and they're like, well, you know what, I can do it in an hour. And
Yes.
first thing in the morning, because it will clear your head, it
Mhm.
will make your body feel great, and you won't feel like the Tin Man all day. It's just mentally, emotionally, and physically so important to try to do it in the morning. If
Yes.
you
Get
can.
that.
And
It sets the tone for the day, and just
it sets the tone for the day. And it actually, it's a funny thing about yoga. A lot of times you'll do yoga and you'll leave the class and you could start crying, or you
okay.
could start just giggling and laughing because it brings up so many emotions, especially when you're doing a lot of heart openers.
Mm.
It brings up so much emotion that you can end up just walking out and bawling, walking out and laughing, or just you have this energy that you put out, then your emotion comes out, and then it's all put away. Like
Right.
it's put away for the day, and you can focus on all the things that you need to do, or all the things that you don't need to do that day. Like I said, take a nap. If you're not
Mhm.
feeling right and you're really having a bad day or nothing seems to be going your way, take a nap. It doesn't even matter if it's 15 minutes.
Yes.
Just as important as the working out. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. So if
Yeah.
you do these reps and you do them really slowly and you do them until your muscle physically gets exhausted and you can't lift another one, then I
Mhm.
want you to lay down on the floor and lay down on the floor till you get your breath back. This is one of the best practices I'm learning from Dave Asprey, who is the king of biohacking.
Oh, Dave. Yes. I love Dave. Yes.
Good old Dave.
I love
Um,
him.
he tricks me sometimes, but he will tell you, and this is great because this is something I've learned in the last 2 years, I guess, that if you exhaust your muscle and then lay down on the ground, I think he only works out for 10 minutes a week. And he exhausts his muscles in every area that he has, and then he lays down in between each one. So the whole thing lasts him more than 10 minutes, but his whole workout is about 10 minutes, and then he rests in between until he catches his breath all back. And if you have an Apple phone or iWatch or an iPhone or an Apple Watch or any of that kind of stuff, or you have the Fitbit or whatever you use to check out your heart rate and all that stuff. If you have one of those, I like my iPhone because on my iPhone, it has the little heart for your health. It
Yes.
comes with the phone. It's a little app that has a little heart on it. And you can scroll through and see how many steps you've walked. You can scroll through
Yes.
how wide your step length is.
Mm-hmm.
You can find out all that. And then you can figure out, oh, here I've lost myself again. When you do that, you figure out what your resting energy, when you look at the whole thing, your workout energy or your moving energy is like 140 calories you burned, and your resting energy will be 1,006.
Mm-hmm.
So working out hard and lifting the heavy weights as long as you can, or staying in a squat for as long as you can, whatever it is, till you burn out the muscle, then lay down, because you're going to burn more calories at that lay down time than you are working out.
Oh, okay.
Isn't
And
that interesting?
I love what you said about having tracking devices. There's so much wearable technology and it
Right.
helps guide us. And I don't have a particular brand necessarily that I'm recommending. I use a Whoop, but
The
just
hoop, the ring,
no, no, that's the Aura. The ring
that's the
is
oil, right?
bothering me, so I have it on my wrist instead, and it can go on your bra strap or ankle, wherever's easier. But the point is, it's accountability, and what you measure it and record, what you measure improves, what you measure and record improves exponentially. And so by utilizing that, you can see what type of workout is giving your body the response
That
that
you
you
want.
want. And I love that you brought that up. Now, what do you think
Exactly.
you have? Yoga is a simple and ancient practice, but you
Mhm.
also have a really good picture of what's going on in the fitness world. What do you think is the future of fitness? Where do you think this is going?
Wow.
And
You
that's
know,
a big question. Do you think?
I mean, it's a challenging question because there is so much going on and I'm not even up to all of it. It's hard to keep up with, but with AI and all the different things we do today and with the different classes that do, everything just keeps moving forward like your iPhone does.
Mhm.
There's aerial yoga now where you're upside down and in a swing. There's so
Yes.
many different modalities of so many different kinds of workouts. But I think some of the future things that it's going into are these machines where you only will do 5 reps on them and they actually help you. There's some crazy funky machines that they have at the Four Seasons here in Italy that you don't even do a lot of working out to get your body in a lot of physical exercise to get your body in really great shape. It's very interesting. I feel like I'm cheating when I'm doing it because I don't, but
Yeah.
it's challenging, but I still feel like I'm cheating. And what's the other thing that I just saw and discovered recently that was fitness? These machines, like
Mhm.
back in the day when I was a young kid, they have these machines that shake your stomach
Yes. Yes.
back and it shakes you, or you have the plate now that shakes you up and down. For some
Uh-huh.
people, those are great. For some people, those are really great. And it's almost like an aerobic exercise. And it's also building the muscles because you hold yourself in certain positions and you shake, 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 shake. They're doing more things with that that's going to come out that who knows
Yeah.
if they can take inches off your arm, if it can take, who knows what's going to turn into.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. And like I said, the modalities keep changing so much, and even the machines of everything keep changing. Pilates is changing.
Of
Pilates
course.
is specific, like yoga was a specific 7 moves from the monks in India that made it 7 different moves because they sat all day in cross-legged position and meditated. So they made 6 or 7 different moves that they used. That's all yoga was back in the day. Now we have the aerial, the acro.
Oh
There's so
yeah.
different kinds of yoga that hatha, kundalini,
Core sculpt.
right, right, or sculpt,
Yep,
which
sculpt.
obviously, they're just, it's always changing. So that's what I'm saying about Pilates. It's even changing now with their equipment that they use. And I find honestly, you guys, that Pilates on the floor instead of on that machine, which is much more expensive, I don't
Mhm.
think it does half the amount of work that it does when you're doing Pilates mat.
Oh, see, I like that. You and I know there's always going to be a new technology, a new machine, because honestly, that's what sells. But I love that you have the core principles because regardless of what new machine or technology you apply to what you're doing, that core principle of the holistic view. You got to do the reps, you've
Mhm.
got to sleep, you've got to get the nutrition, get the hydration, and get moving, even when you don't feel like it. If people have that Brenda Swanson philosophy, then,
Yeah.
regardless of what thing you do, it's less important because you've got that base
A
of
lifestyle.
yes.
It's a lifestyle. And you don't do it in 1 minute. Don't expect that you're going to wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in the next 30 days, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to
Mm,
change everything. Take it step by step.
yes.
Little micro chips here, little nuggets here and little nuggets there. It'll make you feel confident and inspired as opposed to being defeated. And do not go to the gym and start lifting 5 pounds and squatting with 50 pounds and all that other kind of stuff at the beginning, because you'll be so sore you won't want to go back. And then they'll be back
Yes.
in the old rut that you were in before. And sleeping, you mentioned. Sleeping, I really honestly like to sleep 8 or 9 hours a night. I
Oh,
know a
wonderful.
lot. And if I can, I do. If I can't, it's 7, 8. But I set my little alarm, actually, a little bedtime reminder for 9:45 every night, and try to get into bed by 10,
Mm,
and then wake up by 8, 7, 8 in the morning. So
yeah.
it's a long night's sleep. And I like that. It really rejuvenates me and makes me feel great in the morning. And then, of course, there's always the some nights that you go out and you've been out a little and you don't wake up as early and you don't feel as good in the morning.
Of
And
course.
the more
Yes.
we grow up, the more that it's to challenge us.
Oh, yes. But I think honestly, people need a bedtime alarm. I think that's more important than that wake up alarm. Of course, you need to be on time for what you're doing, but if we turn off our phones and set an alarm and say, you need to go to turn off
Just
all
put
your
it
stuff
in
and go to
airplane
bed.
mode, listen to a book or listen to a meditation and start to fall asleep.
Yes.
It helps a lot. It really does.
Yes. And you, this beautiful holistic approach, you've got so many services, so many things that you do. So when people find you at brendaswanson.com, because I know they're going to want to come see you, what are they going to see on that website? What type of things do you do to help inspire and guide people?
Well, they're going to see a lot of yoga,
Yes.
a lot of yoga poses, a lot of yoga. They're going to see a little bit about nutrition. They're going to see there's a page on modeling, there's a page on acting, there's a page on nutrition, there's a page on Body by Brenda, Body Sculpt. I also handcraft my own body butters, and I couldn't find anything that would moisten my skin anymore after 50. And I
Mm.
was in LA and I just started coming up with, ordering things online and coming up with a chemist in my kitchen.
That's how
Um,
some of the best things are created because we're like the current products available are not satisfying my need with my skin.
right.
That's
So I
brilliant.
have butter that is really a butter. It's like really
Ah,
thick butter. And
nice.
it's fabulous. Like you feel it on your skin the next morning. That's what the thing most people say to me. It's like, I can't believe my legs still feel it the next morning and I'm not just dry and scaly.
Mm,
But it is super moisturizing. So if you have oily skin, you probably don't want to use that. But if your skin
right.
is, you're going to want to use it.
Oh, nice. Well, I love that you've taken this amazing career, which is thriving and continuing to grow in all your different experiences, some of the good things, some of the lessons learned the hard way,
Right.
as school tends to teach us, and put that together in a way so people can find things to meet their needs and they start where they start. I love
Right.
that approach. So,
And you guys, all of you out there who are listening, again, like I said, just move your body,
mm,
really take the nap, and be good to yourself. Be easy on yourself. We're also hard on ourselves. That's really important because it doesn't mentally help you out at all. And with all the things that have been happening in the world and after COVID and the economy and just all kinds of crazy stuff, people are desperate and they don't really know where to turn. And I'm telling you, exercise and finding out the foods that really work for you mentally, emotionally, and physically is going to help. Because
yes.
it's not just about having an overhanging belly. It's about keeping your brain in order and really, really giving it yourself a break.
Oh, if I could just put that on every shirt and bumper sticker, and if we all gave
Right.
ourselves a little more grace, we would have the energy to get moving.
Put it on your head backwards so you look in the mirror every time you look in the mirror. You get
I
the
do. I
reminder.
actually write on my mirror. It's one of my
I do
favorites.
too.
I've
And
got
lipstick.
Post-its all over my computer because I'm looking at it. Just, what a beautiful reminder.
Yeah.
Awesome. Brenda, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today from
Thank
Italy. I know you've got a busy modeling career, you're doing all these things, and the information that you shared really helps it feel non-intimidating. We can get up, we can do chair squats, we can start with small weights, but we need to build up and we need to give ourselves
Yeah.
grace.
Give yourself some love.
Yes.
Give
Oh,
yourself
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much
Thank
for being
you
here.
so much. And I hope never to see you on your ER table. And I hope for everybody listening, you take a little bit of this advice a long way and don't end up on the ER table either.
Yes, that's my whole goal. Put myself out of business. All the things you can do upstream. I love that you understand me. All the
Yeah,
things you can do upstream so they never end up in my ER. And this has been a super powerful and really empowering way to do that.
sure is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right, another inspiring episode. Today we had the pleasure of speaking with Brenda Swanson, a former actress turned wellness advocate. She has a deep passion for yoga and holistic health. Brenda shared her journey from the entertainment industry to promoting wellness and mindfulness. Here are 6 key takeaways from our conversation. Number 1, her holistic approach to health, which means whole and total. Brenda emphasizes the importance of that holistic approach to health, incorporating things such as yoga, nutrition, and mindfulness practices. She believes that true wellness comes from balancing physical, mental, and emotional health. Number 2, movement as medicine. Brenda highlighted the significance of staying active at any age. Regular movement, whether through yoga, weights, or simple daily activities, is crucial for maintaining muscle strength, bone health, and your overall well-being. Number 3, nutrition and diet. Brenda shared her insights on the importance of eating a balanced diet rich in proteins and vegetables while avoiding those processed foods and common allergens such as gluten and dairy if they bother your system. She advocates for eating organic and seasonal foods whenever possible to maintain optimal health. Number 4, mental health and self-care. A key point in our discussion was that connection between physical activity and mental health. Brenda encourages using exercise as a way to combat depression and maintain mental clarity. She also stresses the importance of self-care for caregivers, noting that taking care of oneself is essential to effectively care for others, or as I like to remind people often, self-care isn't selfish. Number 5, she talks about goal setting. Writing down and following through on those goals using programs such as Smarter Goals is one of your best ways to improve your likelihood of success. And lastly, number 6, accountability and community. Brenda spoke about the benefits of joining classes or community groups to stay accountable and motivated. Whether it's in person or online, being part of a supportive community can enhance your fitness journey and your overall health. For instance, if you're a caregiver of an ill or elderly loved one, you can join us at the Family Caregiver Hope Association. And our website is familycaregiverhope.com, and that will be in the show notes. And lastly, your free gift today is going to be your Smarter Goals worksheet. So if you were inspired by something that Brenda said, whether you want to increase yoga in your life, introduce mindfulness, meditation practices, or something around eating more vegetables, whatever your goal is, by using the smarter process, you'll be significantly more likely to achieve it. So click on the link in the show notes for your free downloadable Smarter Goals worksheet. We hope you found this episode as motivational and inspirational as we did. And remember that setting those smarter goals and approach life with that holistic mindset, you can achieve optimal health and well-being. And we look forward to seeing you in our next episode, where we bring you Terry Tucker, a former SWAT team hostage negotiator, motivational speaker, author, and cancer survivor. Stick around to the next episode to hear those amazing insights with Terry Tucker. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning into Navigating Hope with me, Dr. Jamie H.O.P.E. It has been an honor to navigate the realms of health and wellness with you today. Remember, in the journey toward a healthier life, knowledge is your compass. If you enjoyed our time together, please share, like, and subscribe to Navigating Hope. Join us next week where we'll continue to empower your health journey, arming you with the wisdom to navigate life's challenges and keep the emergency room in your rearview mirror.